That's what it's all about.
The other thing is too that I've noticed, people are a bit scared to go too deep.
So that's what everyone loves about me. Like, as much as I'm the villain, I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
This is why I'm the villain, I'm the bad guy, because I don't care. You know, when press conferences come and this and that, people try to be someone else. They try to be Conor McGregor, and I'll just be me, man. Like, I'll sit there and I'll be me, and I don't even care about. I'll be in a press conference and the MC will say, "Oh mate, how do you feel about that?" Or he'll try to take the piss out of me and this and that, and I'm just like, man, after I knock him out, I'm gonna knock you out because you're a smart. Like, you know, you got to try to like rev it up a little bit. And it's boxing too. No one wants to see two guys, you know, being mates after the fight. That's what's beautiful about the sport. You know, you can say what you want. You hate each other. You know, you're abusing each other, and then all of a sudden, you know, you fight and it's done. You hug it out, you kiss it out, and it's, you know, a new war, someone else, a new opponent. It's crazy sport, man.
So that's what I wanted to touch on as well. In boxing, I know it's more with boxing, and now I guess MMA's getting onto it as well. How you have to sort of play the part, and you have to promote, and you have to make it dramatic, and you have to sort of bring it up. Someone has to watch it. You have to sort of sell the whole fight, because if you just act nice and respectful, no one's going to watch the fight because they're like, oh, it's whatever. But if they watch, people are going to want to hurt each other and actually have some bad blood. 100%. It sells.
Well, that's what it does. That's the whole sport. You know, you sell it. And I was always, before my fights, like early in my career, I was always, and I still am that person. This is what people don't understand, you know. I am still that, you know, God bless. I hope we go in there healthy, we come out healthy, because it's a sport at the end of the day. And, you know, when I got my big opportunity to fight, you know, Jeff Horn, they basically said to me, you know, the TV and the media were like, well, we can't have two nice guys. I said, well, what do you want me to do? They said, mate, we need you to sell it. We need you to fire up. You know, you've got that personality, and, you know, we need you to, you know, sell the fight.
So they ask you,
to
change a little bit to actually promote the fight more.
Yeah, 100%. And I was sitting there and I had, you know, like, biggest mistake Jeff Horn did was sign the contract and this and that, and you know, there was a lot of back and forth, and there was a lot of starts and stops and retakes because I didn't fire up enough. You know, and I'd be in the studios and they'd say, no, mate, stop, cut, you know, you got to fire up. We need more attitude. We need more swearing. We need more.
It's basically like a production.
Yeah. And
it's like a movie.
100%, yeah. And then I got to the point where I was just like, all right, well, I'll just say what I got to say, and then they can grab what they want. And you know, got to a point where I got in character every time I was in front of a camera, you know, and I had to be someone, not that I'm not, you know, because I'm very confident, I'm very, you know, outspoken, and, you know, if I like you, you'll know about it, and if I don't like you, you'll know about it. But, it got to the point where I had to be a bit of a villain, a bad guy. And, you know, now it's my character and it's my thing. And, you know, I find it easy to just kind of switch on that guy and be that dude. But, it wasn't all from me, like waking up one morning and say, you know what, I want to be an asshole. It was, like the sport's like, we can't have two nice guys. We really want to sell this fight and do like a Mundine Green. You know, Mundine was very loud, outspoken, and he's a bit above and beyond. But you know, they wanted to get another one of him, and you know, I feel like I've taken that role now. I'm the new Anthony Mundine, and you know, you get your hate, but you also get your love too. So, and you back it up in the ring.
See, that's what got me with you, is that before me and you sort of met in a different way. I didn't know who you were. I didn't know nothing about you. And when we met, we got along, and then I started to research about you, understand what your fights, whatever it was. And the person I saw in the press conferences and before a fight wasn't who I met.
Yeah.
So I've always wanted to ask you and say, why? Is there, obviously, now you've said it's promotion, it's you need to sell the fight, you need to actually sell yourself in a way too.
Yeah.
Because if you don't sell pay-per-views, they don't make money.
Well, the media want stories. They want a bad guy, you know. So if a guy rocks up to a press conference and throws a water bottle at his opponent, you know, people are going to capture that, and people want to write stories. And the more I was doing it, the more I was getting recognised, and the more, you know, I was getting my profile out there and me as a fighter out there, and you know, people were taking me seriously because, you know, when I was saying I wanted to be a world champion many years ago, I was just like, oh, you know, you're not good enough, you're not fast enough, you're not this, you're not that. And then when I started saying, you know what, I'm going to knock him out, and going out there doing it, people were like, oh, wow, you know, this guy's, he means it, you know. So it just became easy, and it kind of became just like routine. And then, you know, I've had opponents where it becomes natural because we generally don't like each other. You know, like I mean, me and Isaac Hardman, we've settled our beef now, and obviously we fought now. And in my head, once you fight, it's done. We generally just personality clashed. We just didn't get along, and it made it easy every time we're in front of a camera or in front of each other. Because it was just that general competitiveness, that that hate, and just a personality clash. So it just became easy. But yeah, a lot of the times it was just, Mick, we need you to fire up and say this and do that, and now I just roll into it.
But if you had a choice, if you could sell the same amount of pay-per-views, get the same amount of publicity from it without changing who you actually are, would you prefer that? Or do you actually enjoy getting to that character and playing the part?
Yeah, you have your days. Like sometimes it brings a bit more, bit more fire into the fight. Like you put more pressure on yourself, and I thrive off that. I love being the underdog, and I love like, oh, Mick, now you've spoken, you've got to back it. So sometimes I like putting that little bit of pressure on myself. But I mean, it's not, I wouldn't change it. I just don't like that people think I'm somebody I'm not. Like people that meet me, they come to me like, man, you're actually really nice. Or some people ask me for a photo and they're like, sorry, I was so embarrassed. I just didn't know, if you would say yes or no. I'm like, of course. I love meeting my supporters, or meeting new friends and whatnot. And sometimes it makes me not sad, but it makes me think, like, do people really think of me like that? Of that bad guy that they see on TV. And it sometimes gets a bit disheartening, and not because I'm the first person to give someone my last dollar or give the t-shirt off my back, which I've literally done. Like it sometimes gets a little bit sad and disheartening, but at the end of the day, you just got to stick to the game plan, and the right people will stay. Your real friends will be there, your family will always be there, and I just try to keep my circle very small. But it sometimes gets disheartening. Yeah,
it definitely would, because that isn't you.
Correct. Yeah,
the person you play, I know for a fact, isn't you.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
When I watch it, I laugh because I'll be like, that's not him.
Yeah,
that's not how he talks. That's not how he comes across to other people, and it does, because the people who don't only see the TV version of you and the pre-fight version of you doesn't see the behind-the-scenes version.
Correct, yeah.
So there's two people there.
That's what I mean. That's what I hate, because people say, like, they don't come up to me because they think, oh, I'm going to turn, or I'm going to be like that person on TV, or, the things I do off camera, that I don't really talk about. Like, I go to the elderly homes and help out, and go to talks at schools and help the underprivileged and kids with disabilities, and I do all that stuff, and I never promote all that because I do that for me and to help and give back. I don't want to do that and I'm on Channel 7 because I'm helping. Obviously if it gets out there and they hear about it, they want to run a story and whatnot, but I'm a nice person. It just gets sad sometimes when people think I'm not, because it's, as you just said, you've met me prior to becoming this fighter and whatnot, and I'm a nice person and I give back and give my time, so that's the only thing that really but now it's that natural to me now that I don't really read comments, I don't really care. I've got a job to do, I've got to fight. If I don't hurt him, he's going to hurt me, so it's the hurt business. There's no love in the glove, I say, and like I said, I just switch on. Whether they love me or they hate me, they're going to watch me. And I just truly say that, and I truly believe that.
But mentally, how do you deal with all that? Because obviously it'd become a lot for any human being, that pressure and that bad guy persona and all that stuff that come with it isn't easy to deal with. And mentally to see that people don't approach you because they think you're this guy that you look like on TV and all that. How do you actually deal with that mentally? Because personally, I don't think I could actually deal with that.
Yeah. I mean, look, it was tough at the start. It was tough, like I'd read comments, or like, I'd be just 24/7. My whole time and day would be just, focusing on what people were saying. And then I literally got to a point where I said to myself, if I wouldn't ask for your help or advice when I needed it, what do I care what you got to say? And I always go back to that and tell myself, like, these people I don't even know. I've got no idea who these people are, sitting there saying, oh, I'm this and I'm that, or I should do this and I should do that. And at the end of the day, like, I don't even know who you are. Like, if I was in trouble, I wouldn't ask for your advice. So your opinion means bugger all to me, And when I kept telling myself that and really starting to focus on their opinions don't actually change the outcome, I became happier. And it sounds cringy and whatnot, but when people say, like, man, just focus on the what you can control and don't focus on the uncontrollables, stuff like that, like, Man, that's just what I did, and it became so much easier. Now, mentally, I just say it is what it is. Like I said, if you hate me, you're gonna watch me. If you love me, you're gonna watch me. So it's a win-win for me. Like at the end of the day, I'm gonna get people tuning in, watching the hard work I put in the training camps, and I try to turn those, and I have before, those negative people into positives. I've had heaps of people, so many. I've had hundreds of people reach out to me and say, "Hey, Mickey, I just want to apologize because, I thought you were this and I thought you were that because I've seen this and seen that, but I actually heard because you helped one of my friends' mums or whatever, or I seen what you do, with the kids and whatnot, and you've really changed what I thought of you." So, for me, that's the drive. Turning these people that don't know me, that hate me, into people that are like, oh, this kid's actually not a bad guy. So that's the motivation for me now.
When did that sort of start? Was there a specific fight where that sort of changed? Was it Jeff Horn?
Yeah, the first Jeff Horn fight. People were knocking me, but like I said, I was going to go out there and knock him out, and I did. So I don't know. These guys are like, oh, yeah, but you were cocky. It's not cocky, it's confidence. I back myself. You gotta believe in what you do. If you sit there saying, oh, he's stronger than me, and he's faster than me, and he's trained harder than me. Say, man, I've worked I tell myself, man, I've worked way too hard to be letting some guy come in there and beat me. And even if you do beat me, congratulations. But my mindset going into that fight is, man, I've killed myself for this. Early mornings, late nights. And if I'm tired in that 10th, 11th, 12th round, well, I know he's absolutely on his deathbed because he hasn't been doing the things I've been doing. And I do that on purpose. And people say, man, you overtrain. And I do that for a reason. Mentally, I know that if I'm tired, man, you're dying then. My opponent's on his deathbed. And I do that. That's what I do. I've been doing that since I was a kid.
But how often do you train? Because when I was sort of with you ages ago and I was training with you, you were training... You just finished like a 15K run, and you trained that morning, and you trained twice that day, and it was only 6 o'clock. Yeah, and you're going to train after that too.
Correct. Yeah, I still do it, man. I still do it.
How many times a day are you training?
2, 3, 4. Depending on the day, depending if the sun's out, depending on if I'm feeling good, I'll add another session. I never put things on anything. I don't say, oh, today I'm gonna run 5Ks and 10Ks. People put time and limits on things. I just say, man, I'm gonna go for a run today. And if I get to 6K and I feel good, I'll push it to 8. If I still feel good, I'll push it to 10. If I still feel good, I'll push it to 12. And like you said, 15s and so on. And there's been times where I've gone for runs and people have called me and said, man, you've been gone for 2 hours. I'm like, yeah, I know, I need you to come pick me up because I'm 31 Ks out from home, So, and that's legit, man. Like, I don't know. I just feel like I don't compete with anybody but myself, and I don't try to be better than anybody else. I just try to do me, man. Like mentally, like I said, if I know I'm tired, I'm like, yeah, man, like I've got him, because if he's not doing, I know for a fact he's not doing things I'm doing. He's not running 15Ks. He's not doing 3-4 sessions. And even if he is, I tell myself I was doing him in earlier mornings, colder mornings, later nights, worse conditions in the rain, 40-degree heat. Like I do this on purpose, and that's how I mentally make myself strong. I don't believe in gonna go see somebody to make you mentally strong. You got to make yourself strong, and everyone has their ways. Some people do it with meditation, some people do it with other things, but for me, I do it with, outworking myself, getting a better time, or running a different and a longer path, or, more rounds. That's just how I've always been, man.
But to do all that and to train that often, you'd have to be fueling yourself with, I guess, a lot of food and nutrients and stuff like that. How much food would you have to eat to actually be able to train for that long in the day and that many times?
Man, I'm a weird dude, man. Like I have a lot of water, I have a lot of fluids, I drink a lot of tea. I don't eat, man. I have 1 meal a day.
No way.
Yeah, man.
So you're doing four sessions a day on 1 meal?
Yeah, not even, because I eat my meal at the end of the day. So
you fasted the whole way through the day?
Yeah, man. Like my last meal to this day, even right now, was yesterday. Yesterday night was my last meal. I just, man, I told you, I'm just a weird dude, man. Like, but I'll get up in the morning and I'll have, as soon as I get up, I'll have a 600ml bottle of water. I'll have one before I go to bed. I'll put one next to my bedside table, just so as soon as it's there, I'll crack it open. Within 15 minutes, it's done. I'll have my cold shower. I'll come downstairs. And I'll have all my supplements. I'll have probably about 2.5 liters straight off the bat. So it's hard because I'm forcing it into myself, because your body at 7 a.m. doesn't really want to be, sculling water. But I'll have my BCAAs. I'll put salt in water. I'll have all my other supplements that I take, my greens and all that. So then when I get to the gym, I'm already like 3 liters nearly up before I even started the day.
First thing in the morning, you're smashing 3 liters.
Yeah, so I'm already, and that's what I mean. Like that's just sitting in my stomach, and I feel sick. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not drinking this, and then within 5 minutes training, I'm within an hour. I'm slowly getting ready, packing my bag, getting all my stuff, slowly driving to the gym, stretching out, and then start my session. So within the hour and a half, I'm training. But I got about 3 liters straight off the bat, and that keeps me going for the whole day, man. I'm hydrated. I'm ready to go. Like I'm in the bathroom every 10 minutes because I've got all this water in my system, and I'm energetic. I feel good. And then towards the end of the day, obviously, because you've used it all, I go home, I have another cold shower, whatever. And then I have my dinner, man, and I get a good meal.
Okay, now tell me about this meal.
Yes,
it's a decent meal.
It's bigger than a normal meal. Is it clean? Always clean. But yeah, like I'll have, a big 400-gram steak, my potatoes, sweet potato, or whatever it may be, pumpkin and whatnot. And I'm having good sizes: rice, chicken, salmon. I'm having big portions of this. But yeah, that's what I love my sweets. So at night I'll jump in bed and I won't deprive myself of having some lollies and chocolate and stuff like that. And I used to be really bad back in the days, and I used to only live off sugar, and people that know me would know that I only live off sugar. And obviously now I'm getting older, I've had to change my whole routine and whatnot, and I'm glad because I'm doing it for the better. I used to have mad crashes and whatnot because I was only living off sugar, really. And now, I'm doing it all right. And I feel like for me, it's the best way because I've had dietitians and I've had, camps where I've had breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks in between. And I know for me, every time I eat, I get tired, man. Like I'll eat and then I'm like, I just want to sleep. I can't be bothered training, and I always say this, I go back then and I've said on the radios and whatnot, and people say to me, why do you do that? And I say, man, I don't know, but this is how I explain it. I say, a lion, king of the jungle, when he's hungry, what does he do? He hunts. When he's eaten, after he's hunted that, what does he do? He sleeps. And that's what I say when I'm out training. I'm hunting. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to beat times and run faster. And I'm trying to go to that next level. You can't do that on a full stomach. And people say, I need to eat before training. I'm like, man, what you eat now, you're training an hour. If you eat now, that meal's not even going to help you. That's tomorrow's fuel. It's like after a weigh-in before a fight, we go home and we eat slowly and we eat our carbs and we eat our proteins, and because we're fueling ourselves for the next day. And that's what people don't understand. You need to be hydrated. Water's key. Food obviously is important to replenish the body and stuff like that, but there's time and places. My body's now at a stage where I'll push it to 4 sessions if I do 4 sessions that day, and it's like, all right, now I need that reward. And that's why when I drink training, I don't drink during training, because you will do 5K and then you'll take a drink. Now, next time you get to 5K, your body's going to start saying, I need a drink. I need a, and everyone's different.
So you'll have it in the morning, your water.
Yep.
And will you not touch water till the night?
I'll still
like
have
a little
throughout
bit.
the day, but when I'm training, I don't, I'll wet the mouth, spit it out in between the rounds, or I'll take a little bit. But because, if you're going really hard, and you're like, a lot of people when they're training, like, I need a drink. Well, you're never going to get past that stage because every time you're getting tired, you fall back on, I need a drink. And that's just the mind. I think you've done it a few times when I've been training you. Back in the days, you're like, I need a drink, or I need this, or I need a rest, or, when you get...
Then I fainted.
Then you fainted, and I had to, literally save your life.
Then I needed water.
You know what I mean? But that's what I mean. Like, you get to that, you say you do 10 push-ups, and you're like, I need a drink. Well, you're never going to... Every time you get to 10 push-ups, your mind's going to say, I need water. And then the next 10, I need water. Next 10, I need water. So every time you go higher into that next level, you'll need water.
So it's sort of like programming. You sort of program your body
Correct,
to say,
man, yeah.
I do this, then I need this.
100%. So for me, I'll do, say if I say, you know what, I'm going to do 20Ks today. I'm just saying hypothetically. I'll do my 20Ks, then I'll smash water, smash my Gatorade, rehydrate, my salt, whatever, my BCAAs. But now my body says, all right, we got to run 20Ks. Then I'm going to get the water. You're in control. You know what I mean? Where if you give your body, I need water, and you're giving it water, you're listening to your body. You know what I mean? You want to be in control and then give it water when it wants, when it's done the work for you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's how I work. And again, everyone, probably listens to this and says, no, I don't believe in that. That's just what works for me. People have their methods. Man, I've been overseas and trained with some of the best in the world, and some of their methods are crazy, like, I don't know, athletes that will, before fights, literally go live in the jungle for 2 weeks and survive, just to get in a mental mindset. You know, like this is nuts. You know, a fighter, you know, from Africa, he literally 2 weeks before a fight will go live in like the jungle over there and get into like a mental mindset of kill. And I'm like, this is nuts. There's a UFC fighter that like, he just fought that Yuri. He meditates in a dark room for like 3 days straight. It's complete darkness.
Doesn't come out the room for 3 days.
Yeah, for 3 days. Complete darkness in like a cave or something. Everyone has their method of madness. But for me, I feel like you got to earn it. You got to reward the body, you know. I've pushed, 10 more sprints. Come on, let's go. Then you give it water. Now your body will get in a routine where, all right, I've got to do 10 more sprints.
In order to get
that water.
Yeah.
Then you add another 2 or 3 more. Those 2 or 3 will be the hard one, not the 10. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get that.
Then after a while, that 13 now that you're doing will become easy.
So you're basically programming your body
Correct.
to say you cannot get the rewards
100%.
unless you do the hard work first.
100%.
And the point you made before about it's like that lion mentality where you only eat when you're about to go like towards the end of the day.
100%.
Or when you're ready to eat.
I chill out, man.
It's like intermittent fasting.
Yeah,
basically.
well, it's pretty much what I'm doing.
And then just a big meal at the end of the day.
And then I've all my work's done. I'll reward it with the big food. I sleep, recover, get my 8 hours, get up in the morning. My body now wakes up in the morning and says, all right, I'm sore, but I've got to push through. And in between, I have my ice baths, my cryos, my massages. I have all that stuff too,
you have to do all that.
But my body now says, all right, we got a day of war. But if I get through this war, these are my rewards. I'm going to get that salmon and that meat or what a steak or whatever, that chicken, the protein, the egg whites, the avocado and the water and, you know what I mean? The sweets. So I've programmed my body now that I'm not tired. At the end of the day, I'm probably my most tiredest, like towards now. Because I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm hungry now. I want my food. I've done my work. I've clocked it all. It's all banked now. Now I need to reward myself.
It's a good mentality to have.
It's a hard mentality.
If you can program your body, that is pretty insane. Because I think a lot of people now, especially when they do gym a lot and they do a lot of training, they think eat 5-6 meals a day.
Nah, man,
I used to eat a lot of meals a day with snacks in between. Basically, what I've done now is I don't eat from the time I go to bed till 12 o'clock the next day is my first meal.
Yeah, see?
It's like a steak.
Correct.
So for my first meal of the day is 2 steaks. Then I go to dinner and I have my second meal. But in between there, I don't touch food.
I have nothing. Yeah.
Because when I used to eat a lot, I felt fatigued. I felt like I needed food to keep surviving.
Correct. And that's programmed, see? Because your body now says to it, hey,
it's been 3 hours, I need food.
Yeah, I need food, man. It's 3 hours. Where's my muesli bar or my protein bar or my egg, whatever you're eating.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say to you. And I always go back to, everyone's like, oh, no, that's stupid. I'm like, all right, perfect example. The Greek Spartans, yeah? Have you seen the physiques on them? I'm talking years. I'm talking about... Do you think they had?
Ripped.
Do you think they had bottled waters ready to go and protein shakes and whey this and whey that and dumbbells? They didn't have any of that stuff, man. They ate what they hunted, what they caught, what they in the sea and the animals and off trees and vegetables. They didn't have any of this. You know what I mean? And that's what I always say to them. These guys are fighting countries.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can't do a 30-minute weight session, 40-minute weight session because you haven't had your steak or your lean, but whatever the hell you're eating. Come on, man. Like, it's all here. And it comes back to fighting 12 rounds. People say, how do you go 12 rounds? So it's tough, man. I'm human, and sometimes it gets hard. Sometimes, I'm hungry. But, we got another session to go, man. And then I'll give you some food. I literally say this to myself. And then it's
you're talking to your body saying, you're going to get food when you deserve it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, give me this next session, and I promise I'll reward it. And eat the right stuff to compensate what I've done throughout the day. I don't just wing it. I have a set program of, I did this today, or if I got sparring tomorrow and whatnot. But it comes back to you. You try. People get in a routine of, I wake up, breakfast, or brunch, lunch.
Breakfast is. If you want to go into breakfast, do you know what stopped me from having breakfast? When I found out why breakfast was created. Breakfast was created to sell sausage, eggs, and bacon.
Yes.
They had a shortage. They couldn't sell them, so they could create the branding around breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That started to sell product. That wasn't started to benefit you, benefit me, benefit anyone.
It's terrible.
That was purely for sales.
Yeah.
So when I heard that, I'm like, okay, breakfast, most important meal of the day. it wasn't. It was created with all this research saying, "Oh, start your day with food and to fuel your body." It wasn't. And I'm like, okay.
It's crazy.
And I heard about intermittent fasting.
And
started diving into that and seeing the benefits of not eating for a long periods of time and having big breaks, even if it's 2 meals, it's fine. Instead of having 5, it's a completely different thing.
And your body uses the fat source as energy.
Yeah.
So you actually, that's why I'm always staying, always fit, always on shape, always, healthy, because like you can't wake up in the morning and have a bowl of Cocoa Pops. Like you're starting your day, like you walk down the cereal aisle, and it's just trash. It's all these high proteins and high this and Wheat Bix flavored this and corn flakes. It's all trash. I say to anybody, if you actually need to eat because you've programmed your body that you need to eat 5 times a day, 6 times a day, sure, whatever, then have lean animals, anything from the ocean or sea, wherever you want to, whatever kind of water you want to go, any vegetable and any fruit. You stick to that, mate, you're laughing. People go, oh, I need this and I need that, and I've got to have my peanut butter and I make my smoothies, and it hurts my brain, man.
It has to be real food. I've always said, as a rule of thumb, if it goes off, if you leave it out, that's food.
100%.
If it doesn't go off when you leave it out for a week, it's not food.
Any animal, man, any form of animal, eat it. Any edible animal, eat it.
Yeah.
Anything comes from the tree or the ground, eat it. Anything comes from the ocean, the water, eat it. You can't go wrong. People are like, oh, but I've got these high protein muesli bars that I'm like, man, I have this.
It's made in the lab. It's not even real.
I said, you know what? Have a Snickers. If you're gonna have a bar, have a Snickers because there's less calories. You know what I mean? And it's gonna taste nicer, and it's probably not gonna crack your teeth. But all these people, they try to, there's different things. Everyone's different. People that are bulking, all right, you want to put some size on, you need to eat because obviously that's what makes you grow. But in terms of like boxing and fighting and whatnot, I feel like this works the best for me. Everyone's different.
And everyone's got different lifestyles. Everyone's got different things they do. But as a rule of thumb, I would say that the intermittent fasting diet with even 2 meals a day, I think that can work for anyone.
Kills it, man.
Because you're not spending all your day eating. I look at time. I look at, I guess, the reward on my time. So if I'm running a business and doing all this stuff, the time I spend eating is the time I'm losing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've gone to that mentality now
100%.
where I know what my hour's worth. I know what my minutes worth. So to me, it's like...
Time is money, 100%.
Time's money.
100%.
Because 5 meals a day to eat that's almost 2 hours a day you're probably eating, prepping, organising food.
And you're not as productive afterwards because, again, like when it comes to me, I'm tired, man. Like if I had a bowl of pasta, which is what people always say before training, I want to sleep, man. I'm tired. I can't.
You're ready for bed straight after.
100%. I'm doing these ones. I'm like, man, I'm cooked, But I'm always, and people are like, oh, you need to eat. I'm like, man, I've been an athlete that can go and do the things I do, and I've trained with all around the world, and I've done, in terms of like pushing. Like, I'm tired, but push. And I don't know. I just feel like it works for me, man. It took me a lot of years to get like that.
Yeah.
Because. I was a chubby kid and I love my food, but I said to myself, this is the turning point, and I did a little bit of research and whatnot, and rubbing shoulders with athletes overseas and whatnot, and they all do it. The best athletes in the world do it, man. And I was like, I'll do it now. I've programmed my body to, work, and I'll reward it.
So when you were a big kid, how big were you?
Oh man.
When you say big, what do you mean? How many kgs were you?
Oh, fuck. I had the big man boobs and
Are you serious?
Yeah, I had a big, I didn't like the way I looked. I would never take my top off. If I went swimming, I'd be that kid that swims with his t-shirt on.
And how old? How old were you at this stage?
13.
Yeah. And from 13 onwards, that's when you sort of changed that mentality?
About 15, I started, changing. I started seeing my body change. And I was like, you know what? It became an obsession. I was like, I got it, man. And I was bullied as a kid when in primary school, man. I remember getting my lunchbox, raided and my stuff thrown out. And it was only until my mum realised, like, why is it? I've been sending this kid. I was that kid that went to primary school with like two sandwiches and I'd never get to eat them because I was getting bullied. The kids, I was only a prep or grade 1, and all the grade 6s would come and they'd steal my stuff, throw it in the bin, and I was always the last kid to be picked. and I was a bit of a loner and whatnot. And it was only until my mum realised, she was like, why is he coming home? And I used to run straight to the pantry and because I was starving, you know, because I wasn't eating at school. And my mum was like, you know, what's going on? Then she ended up ringing the teacher and yeah, she found out that obviously I was getting bullied and whatnot. And yeah, man, it was a hard time, you know, because I was like, I didn't like the way I looked. I hated it. Even to this day, man, like sometimes I look at myself and I'm just like, man, I hate the way I look. You know, like whether it's my hair or something. I've always been like that. You know, my biggest opponent has always been me. But yeah, growing up was tough, man. I hated it because I was never that guy or the kid that was always first picked and had 100 friends, and you know, I was always bullied, man, and it was an ugly childhood. It sucked, but I mean, it made me who I am today. You know, my sister actually stuck up for me and bashed my bullies for me. But yeah, man, it was crap. You know, I was never people see me and they think, oh, I just always fit in because of my personality. It was never the case, and you know, it took a lot. You know, I'm actually a shy guy. I'm not really. I've learned how to work cameras and you know, work the media. But I'm quiet, man. I would never be that first guy that goes and approaches somebody and talks and introduces myself. And I'm always just, you know, hanging back.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see that. It's fascinating to know that you came from a kid that wasn't being picked and
yeah, man,
and
always.
Sort of overweight and all this stuff, and now you're the complete opposite of it. Now you're addicted to training. Now you're addicted to.
That's probably why.
Yeah,
that's probably why. But yeah, man, growing up was tough. Like, you know, being weight, and then obviously, me and my sister, I and my brother. But my brother was a baby. You know, growing up was tough. I didn't come from a rich family. You know, we struggled here and there. I mean, I guess everyone back then obviously, you know, did. There was not every second person was a doctor or a lawyer or started their own business and whatnot. So it was tough. I never really got anything, you know. It was just kind of make do with what we got, and you know, whatever was on the table, eat. You know, it was tough, man. And my family had their own issues and whatnot, and I just had to, you know, me and my sister were each other's best mates, and there was times where, like, you know, there was no food, so we'd have to, you know, literally eat fruit from the trees, you know, as kids, plums and apricots and whatnot, and it was tough, man. Like, it was.
So you got to the point where you actually had no food.
Yeah, man, it was tough. Like, it was tough because my parents were going through their own issues, and I don't know what their issues were, but yeah, like, and it obviously reflected back on me and my sister, and my brother was obviously a baby, so he missed out on that whole era. But yeah, like me and my sister, like, we didn't have anything, man. Like, we just had each other. And back then, as kids, that's all we really needed. But it would be outside all day, and there'd be nothing, you know. So we just fruit from the trees, man. Just doing it tough. And then obviously, when my career took off and whatnot, and obviously they fell back on their feet, and you know, we built, and obviously financially and whatnot, I'm doing well. But yeah, growing up was tough, man. Like, that's what I mean. People see, and everyone has their stories. You know, everyone has. You know, the hardships of no money and whatnot. I feel like in anything, to get anywhere in life, whether it's sport, a business, or, you know, relationally, anything, man. Like, you got to have nothing to have it all. And you know, I didn't even have a pair of boxing boots when I started boxing, man. I walked into a boxing gym, and I had those, like, I think they were called volleys. You know, those like Kmart slide-on shoes. Those like, they didn't even have shoelaces, man. Like, they were my boxing shoes. You know, I mean, that was what I used to spar in and train in and whatnot when I was a kid. And then, yeah, like, obviously things change, and I feel like it makes you a bit bigger and stronger and mentally better person. And everyone has hardships, man. Everyone.
It's good that you see it in the way of you wouldn't have been here without it.
Nah, man. Like, and not only, like, I feel like I've seen kids and adults that have had everything given to them through, like, parents and whatnot, and it's not it's just the appreciation's not there. You know, like, when I got my first pair of boxing boots, I was like, man, these are my babies. Like, if someone stood on them, I'd turn. You know what I mean? Like, after every session, I'd fucking, like, literally spit shine these things, man. Like, you know, or my pair of gloves, like the lace or the stitching would start coming undone. I'd be a mess, man. I'm like, fuck. You know, I need to get gloves soon. You know, because how hard it was to get them. now, I'm grateful, because I've worked my ass off and, I've got sponsors and backing and help, but yeah, man, growing up, whether you're boxing and this is everyone, man, I'm just talking my experience. I'm sure kids that playing football, their first pair wasn't a pair of $300 Nikes. They probably started with the cheaper pair, the cap. Remember the brand Kappa? I'm pretty sure they did Kappa, soccer boots back then. They probably had a pair of Kappas or something like that to start off. And then, eventually you get to that point where, like, I'm making money through my sport, or, my parents are getting more involved in my career and whatnot. But, I feel like anyone that starts anything, you got to start at the bottom, You
need to, I've always said you need to find the deep meaning why you do it.
Yeah.
Because my why was a little bit different. Because we grew up with money because of business and stuff like that. So we weren't really struggling at that time. But there was a period of time when I was probably 17, 18, where everything went to shit.
See?
And we lost everything. And we had to sell everything. And we went to a very, very bad time.
Yeah.
And that's when the words "we can't afford it" came out.
Yeah,
and they started saying, "We can't afford it." Hey, quick, what about this? And because you're so used to getting something you want when you ask for it, it was different.
Yeah, and it comes back to programming.
Yeah, and I was just so programmed to be like, "Hey, I want this." Yeah, all good. But my parents never actually, I guess, they never gave it to us straight away. They might have sort of not work for it, but earn it in a way where we're good kids. So here, take it. But when it got to a point where they couldn't afford it, the mindset shifted. But we're never ungrateful.
Yes,
that was a good thing too, because we could have easily become the kids that said, "Oh, why can't we get it? Like, what's going on?" As soon as they said we can't afford it, shut my mouth. I didn't say anything after that.
And that's life, man. Like, sometimes you can have it all. Like, even like my last fight, for example, I was on top. I was world number 1. I fought the best in the world. I was at T-Mobile Arena. I had cameras, light. I was everywhere, Fox Sports, and I lost the fight. From here, here. And now I'm back rebuilding.
But how's that feel when you're...
Shit, man.
As I'm saying, I actually want to understand, because no one will be able to explain it. Like, obviously, the person who's experienced it, you're now at the top, you're doing well, you've got this massive thing going on, you've convinced yourself that, yep, this is mine. And then you lose. Yeah. What happens from the second you lose? Honestly, can you explain to me? Because I really want to understand.
Man, so it was like my whole world was just ripped from underneath me, man. Like, I put in 15 months. So I knew this fight was going to happen 15 months prior to the fight actually happening. So I'm training 2, 3, 4 times a day, investing money, time, body, everything, man, to go out there and just lose. Like, I put everything into that, and to go out there and get stopped in the second round, not even going past halfway. I remind myself that I'm fighting the best, so, that helps. I'm going in there not against someone that's just boxing for the first time. I'm going in there against a Hall of Famer, a guy that arguably beat the best fighter in the world in Canelo Alvarez. I believe he beat him. But, man, the feeling, it's hard to explain because it's a feeling you feel. It's empty, it's dark, lonely, and you got all these people around you. Because I had a lot of people around me, whether I knew them or didn't. It's all right, Mick. Next one, brother. Chin up. You do this all proud. But hearing all that and still feeling alone, empty, dark, it's the worst feeling in the world, man. Like, and other fighters can obviously relate to me, but I wouldn't wish upon anybody, man. Like, it's yuck, man. It's a disgusting feeling, disappointment, and like, you can't go back in time. Like, it's gone. It's done now. Every time I look back, I'm like, oh, I should have done that. Oh, Mick, what? Too late. So it's nothing that you can come back next week and do it again, or, it's done. It's past you. I cried. I literally, man, was in the back. I went to the straight after. They obviously walked to the doctors and the medicals and whatnot, and I couldn't even do my medical, man, because I was just bawling my eyes out. And not even like because I lost. Well, it is, but like, it was just that disappointment. Like, Mick, we've 25 years, despite the 15 months. My goal before I started boxing was to be a world champion. That was 25 years ago. So that was 25 years I just let go from underneath me, and I can't do nothing about it. That's the killer, man. You know, it's not like footy. Oh shit, I had a bad game. Next week we'll improve. It's done. I've just gone back. I've got to rebuild now. And man, it's a lonely feeling. A very lonely feeling, man.
I think people don't look at it the way you explained it. I think people will say, "Oh, it's all right. It's just 15 months."
Yeah.
But people don't see is that for you to even get the opportunity to be in that ring, it took you 25 years.
Well, I say to people,
so it's 25 years worth of work, not 15 months.
But even people say, yeah, well, exactly right. But people say, oh, it's only 15 months. I say, have you ever waited for a bus for 15 months?
Yeah.
Go wait at a bus stop and wait there for 15 months for your bus to come. Like, oh, no way. That's for ages. Like, exactly. It's the same thing, man. Repetition, routine, every day coming early mornings, looking out the window, it's freezing, it's raining, gloves on, beanie on, rug up. You know, your missus in bed next to you at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. It's so much easier just to stay in bed. But you got to get up, get on the road, come back, shower, get ready for the next session. And there's no reward. Like, it's not like you're getting a weekly payment. This is just, boxing is a weird sport, man, because I could have a date locked in. I could have December 10th locked in from now. I don't even need to train. My date's locked in. But what you put in is what you get out of it. Do you know what I mean? If I don't train from now until December 10, I'll still get my chance. I'll probably perform crap but I'll still get paid and I'll still get my opportunity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you mentally got to say, have I done enough? I'll do more tomorrow. No, I've got to do another session, man. Because if you're telling yourself, have I done enough? You haven't. So I always go home like, man, I'm done. Have I ran? Yep. Have I done weights, strength? Yep. Have I done my boxing? Yep. Have I done my skills and drills? Yep. Have I sparred? Yep. Have I swam? Yep. I'll tick the list.
And you still can sometimes feel like you haven't done enough still.
100%. People say to me, you mad? I say, yep. Because that's what it takes to be a champion, man. Like, I'm going in a ring, and people say to me, like, I don't get it. I'm like, I'm going into a ring mentally against a guy that's done absolutely nothing to me. He's actually a nice guy. He's a family man. He's got 2 kids. And I've got to go there for 36 minutes and try to knock him out and punch on with him. I've got to find a reason to hurt him. He's done nothing to me. If me and you get in the ring now, you're a nice bloke. I've known you for years. As soon as the bell goes, I've got to find a way to hurt you. So this is why I do it in the gym.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to bring that animal out of me, man. You know, and it sounds like, oh, man, cringy, whatever, but it's true, man. Because if I don't hurt you, you're coming to hurt me. So
it is.
That's exactly right, man. It's 100%.
You got to fight to survive.
If I don't kill you, you're going to kill me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it, man. I got to get in there, and I got 36 minutes. I don't look for the knockout. I don't try to, do anything that I'm not. I don't try to be someone I'm not. I just be Michael Zerafa, and if it's enough, that's God's plan. If it's not, back to the drawing board. We got to figure out something else. Something obviously didn't work, or he was just better on the night. Because I tell everyone, I say, sometimes that's just the sport. You're like, oh, but I did everything right. Yeah, you did, man. You actually gave 200%. But you know what? He gave 201.
Or he got lucky.
Nah, I don't believe in that.
Nah?
I don't believe in that, man.
You don't believe that someone could just land a lucky punch or something?
I don't believe in luck, man.
Yeah?
Nah. In certain aspects, yeah, luck falls into play. But I don't believe in, he was just lucky. Nah, man, because if he got it and he landed that punch, it's not a lucky punch. Give him credit.
He landed it.
He landed that shot, man.
Yeah.
Well done. Shake his hand. Because he landed that shot. It's not, oh, man, salty, and he landed a lucky shot. And no, man, he landed a shot. Your defense was shit because he's landed that shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to get back to the drawing board because he landed that shot. Because, see, like Lara, I watch back. Yeah, man. It actually wasn't what I did wrong. It was what he did right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was trying to get on the...
He pulled your structure apart of what you were trying to do.
He dismantled me.
Yeah.
And we spoke after the fight, and his trainer, and he goes, mate, we were worried, because we watched you fight. And we said to Lara, you can't sit with Zerafa because he's going to hurt us. He's going to... So he just maneuvered me around the ring, man. And I was trying to get on the outside. He kept trying to cut me off. And then I was like, playing one foot, his foot, my foot, his foot, like literally one after the other. And then in the second round, he stopped doing that and let me get on the outside. And I was like, yes, I'm here now. And I came in. But not realising he let me get on the outside. So as soon as I came in...
That's part of his plan.
Yeah. Shot. I mean, if you actually listen to the commentary, I said, mate, Zerafa did everything perfect. It was just what Lara did even better. And that's why I say to everyone, man,
what fight was this?
This was my last fight. Literally,
Okay, check that.
Yeah, Lara fucking v Zerafa. It was Earlier in this year, March. Wasn't a good birthday present, but you know that's just what happens. But yeah, man, I'm not a big believer in luck. You know, luck is if
This one here?
yeah, maybe go the highlights.
I'll go full fight highlights. Chuck your headphones on. Is that the one there, yeah?
Yeah, but that's the full fight. Maybe go the first one, maybe.
Is it just towards the end?
Yeah.
New Super Sub. Just place a bet on select player markets, and if they get subbed off, your bet rolls over to the player coming on.
I hate these ads,
If
man.
they come off, your bet is still
They get you
on
going,
with
mate, you know?
Sportsbet.
What are you really gambling with?
They promote it and they tell you, if you got issues, get over. I don't get it.
They promote it to you and then say, hey, if you got an addiction, we can help you too.
Mate, it's crazy, you know.
Give you the drug, then give you the antidote as well.
Yeah,
That's here, yeah?
You keep going back, about there.
The Ladbrokes
I might
Racing
go.
Club
More.
is giving you
There we go.
the ownership
I might have a punt.
Follow a total of over 30 runners with updates from leading jockeys and trainers. Ready to feel like an owner? Join the Ladbrokes Racing Club today. It's fast and easy. What are you really gambling
Again.
with?
We wish the crowd just kept quiet because
Yeah, see, like I'm putting the pressure and I'm coming at him and
left hand high jab and landed squarely.
Lara's that type of fighter. I mean, he's going to set up something, and he's doing that. He's circling.
so like he set me up here, you know, I'm coming in, I'm coming out, and then watch as I come in, boom. Caught me with a shot, you know.
See, I remember this fight.
Yeah. it
So
was-
I watched this fight, and you can see as soon as you get hit, you go down, and then you sort of lift your head up. And you go.
Yeah,
You knew
I was done.
you were done.
So I felt like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was like I had no legs. I knew what was going on. I came to, like, obviously that first bang, you know, your lights flash, you go down, and trying to get back up, it was like, man, where's my legs? You know, I was trying to get my balance, and the ref was talking to me. He's like, you got to show me something, you know, and at this point I was like, fuck.
And you still kept just nah.
Yeah, I was like, man, I got nothing.
So you felt like you're conscious. You're
Yeah, I
looking
knew what
at
was going
him,
on. I just
but
didn't have
your
my legs.
legs just
Yeah.
wouldn't work.
You know when you get up real quick and you're like, woof, like
Yeah.
that dizzy. It was like that times 10.
And just kept going.
And it just kept going. And I was like, man, like, and I knew as soon as I got back up, and because normally they say, you know, walk forward, take a step to the side to see if you're, you know, with it. And I knew he would have just ran straight at me and I would have just copped another shot. So credit to the referee. And again, you know, I trained super hard. I reckon I probably trained harder than Lara. But again, you know, he was just better on the night. And, you know, after the fight, I shook his hand. I hugged him. You know, I'm a massive fan of Lara. I watched him growing up. To even share the ring with him, you know, is a dream come true. But yeah, he was just better on the night, man. It's back in the gym. We train. We work on our mistakes. And, you know, you can't knock somebody that's given it a crack in anything. Someone wants to open up a business, I'll fully support them, whether they fail or succeed, man. You know, like I just opened up a gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People saying, oh, it's going to boom and it's going to do this. And, like, you know, and it's doing well, don't get me wrong. But is it starting off quiet? Sure. You know, in a year from now, I'm hoping it triples, you know, and even more. But everything goes back to, like I said, everything starts at the bottom. You know, you got to start at the bottom. And that there just shows that, you know, I've got to go back and rebuild again, man. I've got to do different things. And, you know, sometimes, and it might be 20Ks, which I'm not running 20Ks, but 10Ks isn't what you need to be doing. Maybe give me 6Ks and the other 4, that 30 minutes of the 4Ks or 10 minutes of that 4Ks, put it into some leg work or something else, head movement.
Yeah, look, focus on what you actually
Correct.
didn't do well.
Correct.
Instead
Like-
of just doing cardio for the sake of it.
Correct, you know, and anybody can go in a gym and throw iron around and push a button and run on a treadmill, and that's why now I've structured my, you know, I'm doing sprints, you know, interval sprint stuff and hill work and, you know, proper strength and conditioning and technique and boxing and sparring and, you know, everything's structured. But, you know, again, plans can, that's why I always say to people, I wing it. People say to me, how do you wing it? I said, well, how do you prepare for the unknown?
Yeah, you didn't know what he's going to do.
I didn't know. I thought I was going to win the fight.
And you can study him. You can look at everything he does. He will change to suit you.
Correct.
You know,
and I just say, I just wing it, man. I got 36 minutes in front of me. I take it round by round. I don't sit there and say, oh shit, it's round 2. I've got 10 more rounds to go. I say it's round 1, man. And then I come back, 1 more round. I come back, 1 more round. Before I know it, I'm on the 12th and final round. I just take it round by round. I don't know what he's going to throw. It's like driving. You know what I mean? Like, why do accidents happen? If you knew that guy was going to keep going straight, you would have stopped.
You would have avoided it.
You would have avoided it. You would have slowed down, or he's going to keep going straight. That's why accidents happen. That's what's called an accident. You know what I mean? Because you don't know. Same with boxing. I don't know what he's going to do, so I just focus on me. I go in the ring 100%. Physically, mentally. Look, I'll be honest. I was a little bit off on that fight. I had a lot of other stuff going on in the background, but I have no excuses, man. I felt grouse in the ring. T-Mobile Arena, 20,000 people. It was world title. You got Lara in front of you. It's a lot to digest,
So that was a big fight for you, wasn't it?
It was that you don't get any bigger. That is the biggest it gets.
So that fight you were saying took you 15 months to prepare for.
Yeah,
that was that one.
That was that one.
Oh wow!
And it went 4 minutes. Oh no, give me some credit. It went 5.5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
5 minutes for 15 months.
Yeah, 25 years.
25 years. Sorry. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So now, I've never really understood now. Just say you've lost this opportunity. Is there potential for you to get, not probably with him because someone else might have the belt or whatever
Correct.
it is, will you get that opportunity again?
Of course, yeah. So obviously I've built when you get to that level now, obviously being world number 1 and in that level of elite, it'll take me 1-2 fights and I'm back in the mix again, So basically how it works is you've had a loss, dust yourself off, have a bit of time off if you need to, but get a win. Go get a win, man. Get yourself back in the green because it's either a red or a green next to your name. At the moment, I'm on a loss, so I'm in a red. Get yourself back in the green, and then build from that. And then within a couple of months, bang, you're back onto promoters, you're back onto the sanctioning bodies, and you're putting yourself back in there. I want to be in the mix again, and I'm still top 10 in the world, so I've still got pulling power. Like, unless you know somebody who knows somebody, or you're someone's son, or your cousins, or related, or it goes back to it's not what you know, it's who you know. Same with boxing, man. Like, this guy will get a sponsor because his dad knows the guy, or this guy will get the opportunity because he did a favor for that guy.
So it doesn't actually run off who does better. It probably does a little bit.
At the top level, like obviously, like getting rankings and stuff. Like I was world number 1, so I had to fight my way to world number 1. But opportunities, yeah, man. Like people get opportunities because there's favors owed, or because someone knows somebody, or because it's terrible, man. That's why I just lay low, man. I don't get involved in it. I just fire up at the press conferences.
Yeah, create the scene there.
I create the scene, man. I walk in, do my thing, and I leave, man, because that's what I just want. Like I had people ring me today from the Herald Sun and whatnot, and the Courier Mail and all that stuff, and interviews and all that crap. But yeah, man, like I just do my training, go home, chill out, and just relax.
Well, I guess you have to, man. You can't get involved in all that stuff, or else it'll drive you crazy.
I'm getting older too, man. Like I'm 32 years old now. Like
getting older, 32.
Yeah,
Jesus
but like
Christ.
like the mindset changes a little bit. Like at 22, I was freaking a biggest goose. You know what I mean? Like I was loud. I was, always with the mates. And now, like obviously, your mindset changes. I've got a gym now. In Craigieburn. So if you guys want to come down and train, 13 rounds. But yeah, like my mindset's different, man. I want to train. I want to get paid. I want to win world titles, and I want to enjoy life. Because the sport doesn't last forever.
100%. And you always used to say to me that you want to get involved with business.
Yeah, man.
And you want to get into the business game. And I know a few of the guys I know are doing the exact same thing, because you'll find that a lot of athletes don't do that, and they just focus on their craft, and then they get to a point where they either get injured, retire, or get dropped, and they're depressed, they're anxious, they're they're all over the place. I was talking to Jake Matthews about it because Jake's very much into the business just as much as his fight.
You have to, and you know, he's done well, and you know, whether it's through merchandise, selling merchandise,
Anything.
whether it's opening up a gym, whether it's you got a local deli on the side, I don't know, whatever it may be.
Just business.
Just business,
You
man.
have to have another income.
Yeah, like, and for me, like I'm here now making money. You know, like I've got PTs there now, taking classes, and I'm making money. You know what I mean? And when I fight, I'm making money, and when I'm doing whatever it may be, you know, public appearances or for sponsors, or I'm getting paid doing these things. So, you know, the word boxing is like Sony, is like Microsoft. It's a business.
Yeah, 100%.
You got to be marketable, and that's why the penny dropped with me. Like, man, let's be the villain. And when I fought Mundine said to me, in the back rooms, he goes, "Man, be the villain." He said,
"It pays better."
It pays better, 100%. And he said, "No, you want to be heard, you got to be loud."
Because he's a decent guy too.
He's the best.
He's a grouse guy.
And everyone that speaks, Mundine, you know, the mouth from the south. Mundine, if you know his story, and I know him well, you know, like he gave back, you know, like to the Aboriginal community and you know, to the world, man. Like he did so much for the sport. I mean, some of the things he said, you know, I probably wouldn't do that, you know, but I mean, that was his way of doing things. And man, he's a phenomenal athlete. He's an absolute gentleman. And you know, he said to me, he goes, "I've never met and I haven't. Out of all the hate that I get, I've never met a hater." You know,
True.
like, and that's what he said to me. He goes, "You're not hated because you've killed an animal or you've, you know, bashed an old lady or something." He said, someone needs to be criticised and someone needs to be bagged on social media for these weaker people.
Well, there's so many keyboard warriors out there.
Yeah, you know.
And they'll just sit there behind a computer and they'll see the next day and probably be like, "Oh, good on you, Mike."
I've seen that. I've had that.
You won't even know that was the person the day before that wrote a comment on your
100%.
post.
Well, man, I had one do that to me once and I actually seen him out and he goes, "Can I get a photo?" And I remembered the comment and I pulled him up on it and he shit himself. I said, "Mate, I'm just bringing it up to you." I said, "Oh, mate, I got it. You want to hate on me? By all means, I don't care." And for everyone out there, if they want to hate on me, sure, no worries, man. But like, what are you actually hating on me for?
I don't think they're doing it because of you. I believe that the world's become very much, how do I get famous?
Yeah, man.
How do I get some clout? How do I get people to see me and
crazy.
notice me? And I think it's become toxic now where people will go out their way to post and comment to just get people to see them and be recognised.
It's sad, man. Like, I feel sorry for someone because if they knew better, they'd be doing better, you know? Like, to go on, to jump on a random person's page and say, you know, "Oh, you're overweight and you're ugly." And, like, some of the comments that people post about others, not even about me, just the things I see. You know, whether it be about what colour skin they are, what size they are, what race they are, whether they're gay or straight, like, let people live their lives, man. Like, it shouldn't affect you, man. Like, if, you know what I mean? Like, if he wants to go with that guy and it shouldn't affect you. If she wants to go with that girl, let people be, man. Like, we should be living in a world where everyone helps everybody. But everyone's just so quick to bring each other down, man. Like, and it showed in the pandemic when people were punching on for toilet paper. You know, people were getting bashed because they were in a rush for toilet paper. Like, what kind of world are we living in? You know what I mean? Like,
It's just I always see it as a divide and conquer sort of tactic where everything that we do, everything we consume is to divide us.
Yeah.
You got black, white, gay, straight, unvaxxed, vaxxed. That's everything that they do and the media pushes is to separate us.
100%.
But I think what we got to do is realize that this is the tactic.
Yeah.
Know what's going on and let's bring it.
Bring it together,
we need to be united again because I think it's been a lot of years since people felt connected to each other.
Yeah. Well, it's getting worse. It's only getting worse.
It is.
Like, even when I'm out and about, I'm like, man, they're like, it's so bad, you know? And I just feel like we just got to help each other, man. Like, we're not here forever, and life's hard. You know, it is. People say to me, "Oh, life's not that hard." I said, it's because you're not excelling yourself. You're not putting yourself out there.
Life, you're sitting on the couch all day.
Of course,
eating
it's not,
shit,
yeah. Of course,
whatever.
life's easy. You know, as a grouse.
Yeah.
You know, I'd love to do that too, but unfortunately, it's not, and that's that's what we need to realize. Like, life's hard, man. There's so many people that are here today that aren't here tomorrow. Like I could wake up and not be here tomorrow, touch wood, and vice versa, touch wood. But people just need to help each other, man. Like it's free to be nice, and everyone has their own problems, but it's not that person's problem.
No.
In terms of like not that person's fault. Sorry, like if I'm having a bad day because whatever my reasons is, it's not your fault. So I shouldn't be rude to you or not give you my time of day. Like, I should be able to feel comfortable to potentially talk to you about it, and then maybe you can help me with it. And that's what I mean. Like, we should share the love, share the kindness, share the the passions, and pick people up, man. I see so many people like are scared to come to gyms because of previous things like with trainers that have put them down, and I'm like, man, like
they're insecure now, and they're
it's so bad. And like I had one at my gym that said to me, like, oh, sorry, I'm just so nervous because I always got told I was useless, and I'm like, who the hell's telling you this? And they're like, oh, my ex-PT, and I'm like, man, this hurts my brain.
Like there's people like that out there.
Yeah, and like I get, you have bad days and whatnot, but help each other, man. And that's what I say to people that think I'm a bad person and whatnot. That's the character. Anyone that, even if you're hating on me, if you have a problem, you know how many people that have reached out to me that have actually asked me for, for help in terms of like, they're in a dark place or whatever, like, can you help me out because I'm thinking negatively and, I want to take my own life and whatnot. And I sit there and, man, I'll message them, stay strong, whatever you need. Like, and these are people that have hated on me. But I put that aside. I'm like, man, because they're obviously going through something. They're obviously not happy where they're at. And that's their like little bit of dopamine of, putting me down or putting someone else down to make themselves feel better. So I feel sorry for these people, and that's why I'm always, whether you're rude to me, whether you leave a bad comment, and people that are listening to this, if there's any way that I can help, reach out, because I've had mates that have taken their own life that have have reached out and I didn't put two and two together, and I'm like, man, that was probably his way of saying that he needed help and took his own life, so for me, like, I'm always there to help people, man. Even if I'm tired and busy, I will make time. Like, there's 24 hours in a day, man. You work 8, you sleep 8, there's 8 hours left. You know what I mean? Like,
well, 100%.
There's plenty of people say I don't have time. Yes, you do.
Well, honestly, and I can't remember who said this, and I might be screwing up the numbers here, but he goes, it takes like 6 minutes to really get someone out of a dark place.
Yeah, man.
So if you can't, and he sort of used a code word. He goes, if you need me, call me and say, have you got 6 minutes? Mm-hmm. So it's like a code word to say, hey, can you move away from whoever you're around and sort of help me out now? I need your help.
Yeah.
And I think being real is a big sort of helper too, but not with yourself, just everyone, because everyone tries to play the part every day.
Yeah, and so I said to you walking in here, like, just be you. You know what I mean? And it might take, it's less than 6 minutes. I've had messages where they're like, man, I'm done. And I'm like, it's literally about a 2-minute message. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, man, I can't thank you enough. I'm like, man, don't thank me.
One message done that.
One message kept another person alive.
That took you 2 minutes to write, and then it's done. Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say. It kept someone alive, which kept parents happy. Imagine waking up knowing that their son has killed themselves, or their daughter has killed themselves, or that person's kids, or that wife to somebody, or that the husband. It took 2 minutes. Not even.
Probably less.
You know what I mean? People are on the toilet on TikTok, and everyone does
half an hour a day, 40 minutes.
You know what I mean?
An hour a day.
It takes 2 minutes, and that's why I say to everyone, man, like, despite boxing, and I've been brought up to have a big heart, help, and I can't walk past someone that's homeless and not give them, and everyone that knows me knows this, like, without buying food or helping them out. Where you sleeping tonight? What are you eating? Here, come, let's get some food. I remember this one story. I'll explain it because it actually makes me sad, man. Like, every time I try to explain it, it nearly brings me to tears, man. Like, so I was doing a talk in Geelong for a school, and me and my partner were up there, and we get some McDonald's. We went to Macca's, and I'm just waiting because that morning obviously I had to go to the school, and so we went that night. We're at Macca's, and I walk in, and it was packed, and there was a homeless man that walked in. And he was there and he was like trying to count his coins. He was in the line, man. He was doing nothing wrong, yeah? And the what do they call the people? The people that work there.
Yeah. Like,
the workers.
Yeah.
Well, I went blank then. Well, like, next. And he was next in line and I was behind him. They were like, next. They would not.
They wouldn't serve him.
They wouldn't serve him. They were like, next, like this, looking over him. Next. I said, sorry. I went up to him. I said, you all right, mate? And he panicked. He goes, oh, I'm hungry. I said, mate. I went up to there and I said, what do you want? He didn't even know what to order. I said, mate, whatever. I got him burgers, whatever you want, yeah? He was like a little kid, like so happy. And I said to myself, I'm so disappointed in you guys. He's human. You don't know his story. People say, I get a job. How do you not know that his parents didn't die when he was a kid? And he couldn't go to school because he couldn't afford it, had nowhere to go.
He's been alone his whole life.
He's been alone his whole life. And, man, my missus was bawling her eyes out. And I sat down and had dinner with him. And he was telling me his story, absolute gentleman. And, like, he could not be so great, like, any more grateful. And he was like, I said, what do you, and he goes, do you mind if I get a thick shake? I said, whatever you want. Yeah. He was so generous. And, like, I got him chicken burgers, chips, whatever, And he goes, what made me so sad is he goes, I'll never forget this moment.
Wow, something like, so simple.
And, like, it breaks my heart. Like, he was like...
Gives you goosebumps.
Man, it makes me so sad. And, this is what people need to realise, man. Like, I used to work with the Salvation Army and go there once a week and help them. And, there was a guy, he goes, man, everyone calls me a bum. He said, I'll tell you a story. He said, do you have 10 minutes? Of course. He said, listen to this story. He goes, I had everything. He said, I had Mercs, BMWs, houses. My business was so successful. I had millions. I said, so in my head I'm thinking, so why are you homeless? Why are you homeless, He goes, one morning I woke up. I went to work, normal day. He said, I got a call. I had about 10 missed calls. He said, I got out of my meeting. I ended up ringing that number back. This is going to give you goosebumps. He goes, it was the police. And they've told me that my wife and my 2 kids had a car accident and they died.
Oh, that just made the hairs on my neck stand up.
He said, my whole world just crumbled. He said,
his whole family?
Whole family died in a car accident. He said, what person would have the mindset and the strength to get up in the morning the next day and go to work? He said, I lost everything. Not because I've never touched alcohol, cigarettes, or any form of drug in my life. He said, I just gave up. He goes, because I've got nobody. He said, my life's done. He said, it's easier just being here and just on the streets. He said, because I don't have the mindset, the motivation, and the will. He said, my wife, my babies are gone.
And that's probably who he done everything for.
That's exactly right.
That's what he done it for.
But everyone that walks past says, get a job, do this, do that. He said, I've given up, man. He goes, it's not. He goes, I could go now, have a shower, clean shave, and go. He goes, mate, I went to uni. I've done everything. He's like, I'm an articulate man. He goes, but I don't know. I guess I don't have the drive.
Easy. He said it's easier for him to be on the street, homeless, than it would be for him to start his business again.
Because he goes, I don't have the mindset.
Yeah.
He goes, like,
he doesn't want it.
He doesn't want it now, man. He goes, what I want was my family. He goes, I'll give you. He goes, I'll take anything back to get my family. Because you can have everything, just give my family back. And this is what I'm saying, man. Yeah. That's why every time I walk past, I want to help, man. I want to help people, man, because I'm only one person. I can't do anything. Even if I had hundreds of millions of dollars, you can help here and there. The world's a big place, but together, if we all did it together, we can help everybody, man. And it'd be free because we're all working together. But so many people that just want to do things for themselves.
It's the culture part.
Yeah,
because you look at the Indian culture, you look at the Muslim culture too. I might be wrong, but some of these cultures, all the family lives in one house. They pay off that one house together as a family, then to the next house. Yeah. Instead of saying, while we're getting 5 different loans, let's get one.
That's exactly right. They work together.
We'll give each other whatever we want.
Exactly right, man. That's it. Perfect. They stick together, and then from 1 they have 2, from 2 they have 4, from 4 they have 10. But they do it together. And that's what everyone needs to do. We all have 1. We should all have 2. We all could have 3. We all could have 10. But everyone's,
I've always said, it doesn't have to be a dramatic change. All you need to do is be yourself and be real, be authentic, be vulnerable when you need to be, and you will attract the right people around you, 100%. One, and 2, help people. When you see someone struggling, help them 100%. In any way, shape or form. You see someone fall over, an old lady fall over, you see someone not being able to pay for something, reach out.
Yeah, that's what I say. It doesn't even have to be financial.
It doesn't mean financial.
If you got 2 jackets on and you see someone with none and they're cold, give them one of your jackets. Like, it could be the smallest thing. You know, like you said, someone falls over, pick them up. It doesn't have to be money. It doesn't have to be, it could be, you know, if you've got 2 pieces of bread and someone's got nothing, give one. You know, you're not going without. You're going with less, but you're also helping. You know, and this is what we need to do more, you know. And like, there's countries overseas that have nothing. And like, you even see on social media, like the way they help each other. Like,
have you been Bali?
No.
Man, you got places like that.
Oh, I've been, yeah. I've been, sorry.
No, I'm saying, but like places, but places like that, these guys have nothing. They're on the streets all day trying to make money.
And they're the ones that
give.
And
you ask them, one of my mates asked for a smoke. Here.
Yeah, they give.
It's like, wait a second. That probably took him 3 hours to make the money to even afford that packet 100%. Of cigarettes, whatever it was, but he just gave it.
Yeah.
There was actually a social experiment done, and I used to watch all of them, where the guy would ask a person that was dressed in a suit, whatever it is, or even casual clothes, hey, can I have a bite of your food or a pizza, whatever
I think I've seen this, yeah.
Yeah. He gives it to a homeless guy. He gives a pizza to a homeless guy. Then it's all set up, obviously. Then while he's eating it, they get one of the other boys to come around and say, hey, mate, like, listen, I'm hungry. He gives him like 2-3 slices and gives him money from his till. To give it. And it's like, wait a second. This guy has nothing. Yeah. And he's willing to give him half what he's made for the day, plus his food that he hasn't had, probably food for a few days. But someone who has money, has everything, has the cars, won't do it.
That's what I mean, man.
It actually makes makes my head spin.
Kills me, man.
How does that make sense?
That's why when I walk around, I see people, I'm like, man, like this is nuts, man. Like, and people are making fun of them. No, you don't know their story, man. Like, don't judge. You know what I mean? Like, everyone has their story. Everyone has a hardship. Everyone has someone in the family that's, you know, different or whatever it may be. But don't put people down. That's why I get sad. So not sad. I don't get sad, but I get like
emotional.
Yeah, but when people are like drilling me, because I'm like, man, if you see this and hear this and see how I am and what I want to do and how I actually am with people, and
so those people would see this as you playing the nice guy part.
Yeah. Correct.
They see it fake again.
Yeah,
like, oh, he's fake on TV. 100%. He's fake now. This is him acting.
And that's when you just got to get to realization where it's just like, you know what? If you're honest, you're rude, and if you're nice, you're fake. You can't please anybody.
You can't.
So for me, I just be me, keep my circle small, keep my goals high, and wherever I can help, because you can't tell people to help because I say, shut up, you don't know what I've been through, rah. That's fine. We don't have a gun to your head. You don't have to help anybody. But it's nice to help. And I feel good helping people, man. Like, whether it's in the fitness world, whether it is giving them money, whether it is feeding them, whether it's hosting them, whether it's giving them clothes, whether it's something.
Well, you being here.
Yeah, well,
Okay, this is from me. From the day I met you, you didn't want to charge me for training.
So?
And I had to force you to take my money, and we had to come to an agreement to say, this is worth your time. Here, take something at least, you know what I mean? Yeah. You wouldn't take it from me. And then I want to start a podcast. You're listing me people that you can get on my podcast. Then I reach out to you and say, hey, listen, I want to do this podcast. Would you come on? Without even hesitation, you jumped on. So you didn't need to do that all for me.
That's what I mean. And again, at the end of the day, I get nothing out of it. But I love helping, man. You know what I mean? Like, I got introduced to you. Yeah, man, happy. Nah, don't worry about it, man. Just train, man. I see you. You know, you wanted to get fitter, you had your doubts on yourself, whatever it was, your weights or whatever it was, you know, that bothered you. But, you know, you came to me for advice. I'm like, man, 100% I'll help. You know, like, that's what I love. And I do it every day, man. I help. If I can help at least one person a day, I'm wrapped. And I go out of my way sometimes to help. Like, I remember once I was at a plaza. No, sorry, I can't name the shop because they'll know who it is. But I was at a Coles. It wasn't Coles, but it was Coles.
Like a Coles.
It was like a Coles.
They had food there and
yes, it was exactly like a Coles, but was named something different. And I was in the line, and this older gentleman was in front, and he kept tapping his card, and he had a whole shopping. And I swear on anything. And it kept declining. The lady there kept saying, oh, like, it's not working, you know? And the line started getting bigger behind me because people were, like, obviously lining up. And everyone was like, oh, come on, like, hurry up. And he was like, oh, I'm going to have to put everything back. I said, mate, all good. I said to the lady, put it on my card. I'll pay for your shopping. He goes, no. I said, mate, it's fine. You got a family. You got a whole shopping here. It was literally like a whole shopping. It was like $300. I said, mate, all good. You know, never saw him again. But there's someone out there that said, you know what? There's this kid that helped me one day, and it's me. You know, you probably didn't even know who I was. But, you know, there's people that go through things, and, like, if I can help, man, why not?
Yeah.
Money comes and goes. Like, people are too fixated on what clothes you're wearing. You can't take it with you, man. Everything in this life is borrowed. The clothes you're wearing is borrowed. The money you have in your wallet is borrowed. Because when you die, you can't take it with you. Do you know what I mean? Like, it gets thrown out. The shoes that you had when you were 10, where are they gone? Where are they? They're in the bin, man.
Yeah.
They're destroyed. The shoes I got on my feet now, in a year from now, I'm going to need new ones. Like, everything in here is borrowed. Time, like, is the most valuable thing that you can give somebody. You can't buy time.
No. And it's just being a good person, man.
It's being a
End
good
of the
person,
day,
man.
achievements, money mean nothing.
That's what I'm saying,
I had a
man.
chat
Like,
with my dad the other day. He said the exact same thing.
yeah, I've seen that. I met your old man. He's a gentleman.
Yeah, he goes, I go, what's your biggest accomplishment? Okay, out of everything and he's done a lot, yeah, business, all these great things he's done. He turns around and he goes, you and your sister.
I was going to say, surely he said the kids. Yeah.
And I go, wait a second. You've had all this success. Yes, you've lost it all and you've got it all back again, but that's the thing that you're most proud of? Yeah.
Small
And
thing.
so, but you talk to people that are, I've had mentors that are doing ridiculous amounts of money, and they dedicate so much time to their family. Because you'll find a lot of people that chase money constantly. When they get what they want, or what they think they want, they're unhappy.
Yeah.
Because they sacrifice their family for it.
Yeah.
These guys, like, they're billionaires. But because they kept their family by their side and dedicated time to their family and never dropped that and sabotaged that or sort of put that to the side, they're still happy till today.
100%.
And they'd always say, if I had lost my family during this, I would have given everything up for it.
That's what I mean, man. That's what I say to everybody. Like, everyone's like, oh, you know, money's a big thing. You know, I said, all right, how about I put a hypothetical, man? I'll give you a card that never runs out. You got endless tab and go. You can go to a Ferrari, tab, doesn't come off. It's just endless, doesn't run out. But I take your parents die tomorrow. Would you be happy?
No.
Money doesn't buy happiness.
No.
Do you know what I mean? What are you gonna do? Buy him a fancy coffin? Oh, you want him alive, man? Take the money. I don't want the money. You know what I mean? This is what people don't understand. People think, oh, nah, but money helps and it makes life easier.
Yeah.
But man, if I've got the right crew around me, I could be sitting in the rain under a tree and I'll be happy, man.
Yeah.
Because that's what life's about. You only get, people say, oh, you only live once. Nah, man. You die once. You live every day. Live, man. You know, like, that's why I dedicated my whole life to boxing. I got one of my best mates, Tom, you know, he says to me, you gotta live life. You know, I had a hard growing up and whatnot, and he said, all you've done is box. That's all you've done. You've been in the gym since you were a kid. You've just been so dedicated to the sport. You haven't gone on holidays. You haven't experienced the world. Live. And he's in Greece at the moment now, and he's FaceTiming me now. He's like, brother, see, this is what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
He's jumping off boats and he's getting his tan on, and and I'm up in the morning running. He goes, man, you need to live. He said, because you might not wake up in the morning and, what have you done?
Would you have regrets if you were, like, just say touch wood now, you weren't to wake up, you were told you're not going to wake up tomorrow. Would you have any regrets about what you've done, what you've spent your time doing?
That's a good question. No, I don't know any different. Man. So for me, it'd be just like the what if, the wonder, like what would it have been like? Should I have done things differently? But I've been like a robot, man, and that's what broke friendships, broke relationships, done a lot of things because I was just so fixated on my sport and being the best. And then I got to realization where, like, there's more to life. You can have that and still be that, but you need a balance, man. You know, the saying, you know, what is it, smell the roses? You know, like, that's the same. That's what you got to do, man. You got to have a balance. Like, in the morning, it's good to be dedicated and train and have high goals and expectations yourself. But on that day off, that Sunday that you're meant to have a day off, don't talk boxing. Don't see boxing. Relax, man.
Yeah.
Go for a drive and go to the ocean and just hear the waves, man. Or, well, I mean, we live in Melbourne, so shit as weather. But, you know, go for
enjoy the rain.
Yeah. We enjoy
the cold weather.
Do you know what I mean? Or go to a fucking dessert place or a bar and have a wine or chill out, you know. And that's what I'm doing. Like now we're obviously, you know, in preparation for my fight and whatnot. So it's straight back into the camp and training. But, you know, after this fight, I'm going to go overseas, man. I want to go to Greece. I want to go to Turkey and, you know, I want to go to Malta. You know, I've got a huge following in Malta. You know, I've got people that send me photos of, like, there's murals on walls.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. But I want to go there. You know, I want to see it. I can't, you know, not can't have it there and not see it. You know what I mean? Like, and like I said, just talking around people like that, they're saying, you know, you got to live a little. Obviously, rubbing shoulders with the athletes around the world and other top-notch, world-class boxers that you see what they do. You know, like I was even at the convention, you know, where all the best, I got invited, you know, all the best fighters in the world go. And I was like, man, this is fucking crazy.
Is that
you know?
what we saw, like Jake Paul and stuff?
Yeah,
like that?
all those guys. Yeah, so I'm on a table having dinner with Jake Paul and Miguel Cotto, all these world champions, and then just seeing what they do, like seeing what they eat. And he was like a Bivol, one of the champions that beat Canelo. He's a massive name. He's the best fighter in the world, undefeated. Seeing him eating like pizza or like toast, and I'm like, oh, so they do it. You know,
it's normal.
Like a reminder of, man, these guys do it too. Like, and I'm like, oh, cool, man, I'll have a piece of pizza too. You know, like, and people are like, Mick, you're world number one. You know, like, you should be just chilling out. You know what I mean? But I'm so hard on myself, and it's good to be like that. But I feel like, you know, I've missed out on a lot. You know, growing up, and again, I've lost a lot of relationships and friends and whatnot because of that. You know, because you know, I gave more time to something else.
I think from speaking to you now, I think you definitely are better at that.
Yeah,
I think when I first met you, you were struggling to balance.
You
were very boxing.
I was so bad, man. Now I'm like, you know what? Like I had to, if I ran today at 9 o'clock, and then tomorrow was 9:05, I'm like, fuck, I'm backwards, man. Like yesterday was earlier.
Are you serious?
Like, I was bad, man. Like, and it used to mentally drain me, and then I'd be a bad person to be around because my mood would change. And that's what I mean, like my relationships, because I'd be a bad person to be around. And, you know, I regret that, man, big time, because there was a lot of good people I had that, like, you know, I kind of sabotaged and lost because of that, you know. Now I'm chill, man, you know, like I'm such a better person. You know, my patience is still terrible. But, I mean, I feel like that's just one thing I just don't have. I just don't have patience because, you know, I wanted to be a world champion 10 years ago. But, you know, as I'm getting older, I'm getting more chilled out. You know, if I've got something in the morning, I'll get up earlier and I'll make time for it, and I won't, you know, cause a scene about it. And if I've got to be somewhere at 9 o'clock, well, 6 o'clock I'm up training. You know, if I've got to be somewhere at 6 o'clock in the morning, well, 3 o'clock I'm up training. You know, I don't miss sessions, and I plan everything, and I feel like I'm a better person, man, a happier person.
Well, I feel like you are.
Yeah,
since,
I try to be.
Honestly,
Anyway.
no, since I first met you, serious. Like, it's two different people.
Yeah, man, like, I don't know, I just feel like,
I
had a lot of people tell me.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you freaking know? You know what I mean? You don't know me. But, yeah, man, like, it's just one of those things. I just feel like I'm a better person.
Yeah, and it's, I think in the Western culture and society and all that sort of thing, they push work, just work. It's like, wait a second. There are people that are pushing this just work shit.
You're way too much.
But it's over the top. End of the day, like you said, if I give you $1 million today, but you're not going to wake up tomorrow, what's more important?
Yeah.
The $1 million or waking up tomorrow?
100%.
So your life's more important.
100%.
So focus on your actual life. Have a relationship. My mentor told me this, and it was the best thing he said. You need to have family in your life. You need to have money. You need to have wealth. You need to have, I guess, love. All these pillars, he calls them. And if you don't have them all, and a bit of charity, a bit of giving, all these things, you're not going to be fulfilled.
Yeah.
Because fulfillment comes when you do all of them.
Yeah.
A little bit of all of them. You have to, You go too much one way, not going to work.
Yeah.
Too much the other, too much money, too much love, it doesn't work. You have to
work,
balance.
Yeah. Balance it. That's
it's
exactly
balance.
right. Yeah.
But these people, and it does my head in, because it sometimes gets to me as well. And I get in my own head. I'm like, oh, should we do more? Should we do more? But wait a second. I came at 8 o'clock. It's 6:30 now. I'll probably leave here at 9 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
I'll do the videos. I'll do the editing. And still, I'll say to myself, should I have stayed longer?
Yeah.
That's where it gets toxic.
Yeah.
Because I need to sleep.
Yeah.
But now I'm sort of getting better at, I would say, reminding myself that
Yeah.
you've done enough.
You just got to pinch yourself, man. So, fuck, I'm human.
Yeah, I'm human. Relax.
You know what I mean? Like,
you're not a robot.
I don't need to sleep 8 hours, but man, it'd be good to sleep 10. You know what I mean? Like, I can work off 6 hours, but fuck, maybe I should have 8. You know what I mean? Like, people say to me, like, you don't need to get up at 5 to run. If you run 10Ks at 5 o'clock and if you run 10Ks at 9 o'clock, are you still running 10Ks? I'm like, yeah. So why don't you just get that extra bit of sleep and relax a bit more, man? Like, you're giving your soul to the sport, you know, which is, in my head, that's what I want to do, you know, because I'm like, I need to be the best. And I know I'm not the best. That's why I need to keep pushing. You know, like, there's guys out there, there's always going to be someone better. There's always going to be someone that's, you know, beating your times or getting up earlier, no matter what. Around the world, it doesn't have to be in your country or in your backyard. Around the world, there's someone doing something better. So for me, like I said, I've gotten better at just chilling out, finding that balance, even with food. You know what? Like, I check my weight. Oh, man, I'm light. I'm only 2 Ks in. And let's get a bucket from KFC, man. Let's get sick on KFC tonight. Yeah, because I can. Because I've done the hard yards. I've reminded myself, man, you're only 2 kilos off. That's because you've put in the hard work. Reward yourself. You know what I'm trying to say? Let's have a pizza.
People don't do that.
Yeah,
people
that's what
forget
me,
to
man.
reward it. But
No, man.
I actually had to learn that as well, because I would get into this headspace of work. And I'll never know if I achieve what I wanted to achieve, because I never rewarded myself for achieving anything.
Yeah.
Now I've started to actually reward myself for the achievements. And I think Chris Willis, whatever his name is, Chris Williams, whatever his name is, he goes, you have achieved what you said was going to make you happy, but you're not happy still.
Yes.
And you've achieved what you said was going to make you happy.
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
That's
You're
why
just going to keep going until you die?
And that's why a lot of people, like all those actors and stuff, that suffer with depression, because they get there. They're like, what else can I do now? The climb and the chase was the motivation. You know, so that's why you got to find something else. And that's why I said, like, the reward, like going back to, even it's different, it's the same concept, just different, like with the water and the food. Like, do the hard yards, reward yourself. Same, you do the work, reward yourself. You know, like, you've been up since 8 or whatever, you know, you're here till all the time, reward yourself, sleep in a little bit because you've done the work. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, but the successful people are the ones that do a lot and think they're not doing enough.
Yeah.
You know, and that's in you and I and you know, others. It's the lazy people that think, oh man, I'm doing enough. Yeah. You know, it's like, but what are you doing? You know, it doesn't have to be financial. Like, have you helped someone today? Like you said, the balance. Is your health good? Have you gone to the gym? When's the last time you trained? You know, it doesn't have to always be business, money. You know, I know a lot of people that are like, oh man, like, I've had a busy day. I'm like, what'd you do? Like, oh man, I had to wash my car. I'm like, man, like,
yeah.
Outside of that, what have you done? Like, what are you doing? You know, like, you know, they're coughing, they got smoking in there. I'm like, man, like, that's what you need to be looking at.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't care if you're not making $100,000 a year. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather you make 20 grand a year, but you're healthy.
You're healthy. Do you feel good?
And you make me laugh. We can have dinner together for 20 years more. Not your health's terrible. You know what I mean? Like, people just don't get it, bro. And this is what these podcasts I love, because you dip into things and, you know, and you can show the vulnerability and show the real side of you and whatnot. And hopefully people see this and think, you know what, this kid's actually, I'm just a kid, man. I've grown up tough, like a lot of people, man, chasing a dream, want to better my family, better my friends, better those that support me. I'm just having a crack, man. Whether I do or I don't, I'm just trying, man. You can't knock a guy for trying. You know, I always got told that. Anybody that gives 100% and tries, you got to support them. And, you know, I hope I get a lot of support. You know, people say, oh, I ran from fights and this and that and then whatnot, but people don't actually know the real story. Yeah. And sadly, obviously, because of legal reasons and whatnot, I can't dip into that. But I'm a fighter, man. Win, lose or draw. This is how I make money. I'm you know, I would never shy away from a fight. I never have. I fought 11 world champions. I've been all around the world. This is how I make a living, you know. So people, hopefully they see this and they see a different side to me, you know, that I'm not that arrogant, cocky. I mean, they will when I fire back up in the press conference, because again, that's my role now, you know, and someone's got to do it. I feel like, you know, I don't need boxing. Boxing needs me, not in terms of, you know, the sport itself, but in terms of, like, if I'm not in the sport, there is no one to criticize. There is no one to be against or to throw hate at. You know, if you got everyone in there that's being liked, you know, where's the balance? You know what I'm trying to say to me? So I feel like boxing kind of needs me, because when I'm in the mix, you know, there's more eyes on the sport. There's more controversial stuff. There's more everything, you know. So I feel like, you know, if I retired tomorrow, I feel like boxing would be quiet. You know, and I have media people that reach out to me and say, man, that press conference was terrible. We need you back. You know, so it's one of those things where, like, I kind of feel, what's the word? Like, I don't know the word. I'm trying to say, like, I feel like excited to hear that and you know, be involved in all that stuff, because, you know, they're kind of telling me in a nice way that, like, I sell fights. You know, 3 of the biggest fights in Australia was me and Horn, me and Hardman, and me and Zoo. I'm involved in all 3 of them. You know, so
is that the biggest pay-per-views?
Well, as in terms of, like, fights in Australia, you know, like me and Horn went good, and then obviously that built into, like, a me and Zoo fight or me and Hardman fight, and, you know, like, it was in terms of, like, the press conferences and the build-up, the media, the hate, the news articles, the news, you know, the radio, everything, like, it built mad hype. But you look at it, I'm involved in all 3 of them.
Yeah.
So it's me, you know, so... you know, come fight time, come press conference, same thing. You know, just I want to knock you out, and once I knock you out, I'm going to knock you out. And, you know, I've trained too hard to lose, and, you know, I ain't going to lose to a bum. And, yeah, the normal chit chat, you know, the normal talk. But off camera, man, like I said, anyone that needs help, or I'm a giving person, man. You know, that's what I want people to know, that even if you don't like me, even if it's not about the sport, you just don't like the look of me, just know that if you're going through anything, you know, tough times pass. You know what I mean? Like, it's a bad day, and I always say, can only last 24 hours. You know, tomorrow's a new day. It's a new mindset. It could be another bad day, but again, it's only going to last 24 hours. You get up again. So stay strong, and like I said, man, reach out if you ever need anything.
That's good, man.
So that's how I am, man. I like, you know, helping people.
Yeah, it's good. And you always have. Like I said, I know you're more now towards the balance and all that sort of stuff, but you've always had that in you to give.
Mm-mm.
You've always had that, and since I met you, you've been like that. And yeah, it's exciting to see where you're going. You know what I mean? It's so exciting to see from who I met to who you are now, that change. Because people, I think, get stuck and think they have to be the same. And it's not normal to change, and they get scared when people say, oh, you've changed. I used to love hearing that. When I used to hear someone say, Pete, you've changed, thank you. Because I've been trying to do.
Yeah. So I used to hate change. And this is what, like, a lot of people say to me, man, like, don't be afraid. I hate change. I hate different, and like, 'cause when things are working, you know, they say if it's not broke, don't change it, or don't fix it, or, you know, like, whatever the saying is. But, like, I'm the same. Like, if things are working, well, I'm not going to change it. But then people are like, yeah, all right, it's working, but what happens if we can do it better?
Yeah.
What happens if we can get faster? What happens if, you know, you can do something and be even better? You know, and I'm like, I never really thought of that, you know, like, you know, if you're running and you're getting 10Ks in 40 minutes, why don't we try this way? And I'm like, oh, no, you know, 10Ks in 40 minutes is good. Like, yeah, but if you do it this way, you might be able to do it in 39 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, change is good. I mean, I'm still a bit like, I do it now, but it's a bit, like, new to me, because boxing is life, I'm different. I love change, because I'm like, you know what, I'll try something. Why not?
Yeah.
You know? But in boxing, because it's working, like, see now, this last fight didn't work. And I went gangster in training. Like, I was leaving crying, man, because how hard my trainer was pushing me. You know, like, and he was doing the whole, man, you want to quit? Fuck, let's go home then. I was like, fuck.
Oh, so he puts that on you.
Yeah, you know, he's like, man, it's round 8. Fuck, you want to stop at round 8? Stop. Fuck, let's go home then. I was like, fuck, man, you know, like, and we were going hard, man, like, very hard. And it didn't work. So, You got to find what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Sometimes going full throttle isn't the way to go. Less is more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like trying to drive around a roundabout at 180 Ks. You know what I mean? You're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Slow and steady wins the race.
100%. And it does, man. And that whole mindset, if people just knew that you have to just think about things a little bit more. Don't go in there with that mentality, all or nothing, because you're not going to get anywhere.
100%.
Because you're going to bust your body. You're going to wreck yourself. You're going to tire yourself out for nothing.
100%. And not everything goes to plan.
No.
Do you know what I mean? That's why I wake up and I have my little training structure in place. But in terms of the day, I don't know what's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? It's literally like the weather. We don't know what's going to happen. You got to pack for 4 seasons because we don't know what's happening, man.
Yeah,
you know,
especially in Melbourne.
100%. The same with the day. Like I could be driving somewhere like, oh man, I got to go here, and then my tire blows. Now the whole day's gone because now you got to fix your tire and you're now delayed and this and that, and like that's what I mean. I get up, I'm just like, man, what's today going to bring me? You know what I mean? Like I'm just going to wing it. Same with my fights. Same with everything, man. I don't try to be anybody I'm not. I don't try to do something I can't. I just do me, man. Just like driving. I tell people it's like driving. It's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, when you're in a car, you just worry about yourself, correct? They're like, well, yeah. I said, imagine if you had to worry about everybody else driving, what he's going to do. You'd fucking go mad. Just worry about you. Do you know what I mean? Like, just chill out.
I think what helps is understanding that everything does happen for a reason.
A big believer in that, man.
Everything happens. And I think that's what calmed me down a lot.
Yeah.
And when I didn't believe in that, I was always agitated, always getting pissed off at shit. But now I look at it and I say, that happened for a reason.
Yeah. And it's weird, man. I'm a big believer in that because sometimes I'm like, man, why? And you don't see it in a day, a week. Not even, sometimes 10 years will go by and you're like, fuck.
What'd that happen for?
That's why, man.
Yeah.
And I'm a big believer in that. Like, even my losses, I'm like, fuck, God, why? You know? And then something bigger came. I'm like, oh, is that why?
And probably wouldn't have happened unless that thing
Well, it
happened
wouldn't
before.
have because if I had won, I would have gone down that path. But it set me up for this something bigger. And I'm like, oh, fuck, all right. That's why. And that took 3-4 years or just everyday life. I'm like, man, of all things, man, like, why did that happen? And I'm like, oh, that's why. And I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah.
You know, massive believer.
That's a massive mind shift. That's a mental shift that will just change your life.
Why did I meet that person? Why did that person come in my life and teach me that or do that or say that? And I'm like, that's why. Because a year from now, I met somebody else that did the same thing. And I'm like, nah, that's why.
Man, it's crazy. And
It's weird.
I think you can always connect something to a positive.
Yeah, man. Like I try to now. I mean, I still struggle sometimes.
It's hard sometimes. 100%.
Sometimes I think, fuck, what a shit fucking outcome this is, you know? Like, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, we're going to have a word, like, you know, whatever. And I'm turning on everybody. And then I'm like, at the end of the day, man, like I used to be that bad that I'd be at a red light and I'd be flipping it. It'd change my whole day because I'm like, why the fuck am I waiting so long? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd be turning. And then I'm like, people are like, what, bro, you can't change it. Like, why are you, like, chill out. I'm like, yeah, you're right, man. Like, just wasting energy.
It doesn't feel good.
Yeah,
it feels shit.
And
Like,
you're a shit person to be around.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why people were like, man, like I can walk into a room happy and everyone else will be happy. I can walk into a room and be unhappy and everyone's like, oh, fuck, I feel uncomfortable.
It's all energy.
It's energy.
You bring
man.
that energy to the room. You bring negative. You bring positive. It affects the room.
Yeah, like I walk into a room now and everyone's like, oh, he's Zerafa. You know, like I love that. You know what I mean? Where back in the days it was just like, man, don't talk to this guy because like, you know, we don't know what mood he's in. You know what I mean? So big believer in, you know, what will be, what's meant to be will be, and everything happens for a reason, you know, and that's just, a good motto to live by.
But when you, I guess now, asking you another question based off your fight, when you get that opportunity again and you are able to, and you win that fight and you get that world title, where do you see yourself after that? Because I've always been curious about these people that have these big goals to be at a spot that they've been striving for 25, trying to get there for 25 years, and you get there. Do you see yourself stopping at that and be like, okay, I've got it now?
No, look, I don't want to be one of those fighters that hangs around and, you know, is a punching bag for the up-and-comers and the young guns and whatnot. So once I win my fight, I said to you know, my friends and family and everyone out, you know, that asks, I say, you know, I'll win the world title and I'll defend it for as long as I can. And then once you lose it, you know, I don't want to have to rebuild and go again, you know, depending on what age I win it at, that is anyway, which I'm getting older. I'll happily retire and close the chapter on that. And I'm involved in, like Stan Sports. I do commentary, and I'm involved with Foxtel and all that stuff. And either go down another sporting avenue like that, where it's commentary or some of that, or by that stage of retirement, my gyms are pumping, and open up a few of them and get like a little franchise happening of 13 rounds and whatnot. Or I might have a complete, again, what will be will be. I might wake up one morning and say, you know what, I want to be a chef. I want to be something. I don't know. Something might come in and think, oh yeah, that's pretty cool, and try a new avenue and try something new. But once that chapter's done, I'll take that bookmark out and close the book, I think, and try something new. I've given my life to the sport.
Yeah,
I've fought everybody. I've been all around the world. I've been controversial. I've caused chaos in the sport, and I've won every title you can think of besides the world title. I've been Australia's best middleweight for years now, and like I said, the only thing that's left for me now is that world title. That goal and promise I promised myself at 7 years old that I'll be a world champion. So that's the only thing that's left to tick off, and what else will come will come.
Beautiful, man. So, well, I guess we'll wrap up here. It's been good, man. It's been good to talk to you.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me down. The studio's epic. I thought you were going to have a little iPhone and interview me, but like I said, man, you're doing well for yourself, and mate, you're a gentleman. First day I met you, you've been nothing but an absolute gentleman, and wish you nothing but the best moving forward. And anyone watching, mate, share his podcast, get around, and like I said, you're doing great things, man. Great things.
Thank you, man. Like I said, thank you for everything you've ever done for me too, because it does go a long way. Because I know it's small for you, but even you being here, like I said to you, it's not a small thing for me.
I'll stay here all night. If we're going to talk, we'll talk. Like I said, man.
Even when I said to you, what time do you got to go? When it finishes, it finishes.
When it finishes, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man, like I said, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, man, you got an hour extra. You want to ask me questions, you want to know things, man. Like I said, man, like I'll give my time. It's times, it's so precious, man.
Yeah. That's good, man. We'll do it again one day.
100%, man. Freaking oath.
100%. All right.
Easy.
Done.
Perfect. Smashed it.
That was good, man.
That was fucking